a country that practices multi-party system and you hear governors saying they are aligning with the center, you have to wonder what's attracting them to the center. What's at the center? What do they mean when they say they want to align to the center? Do you understand their reasons?
Well, let me start by saying that it's a strategy by the governing party to actually attract all other political parties to it, especially when incumbents are going for re-election. I mean, whatever President Tinubu is doing right now, it's exactly what President Obasanjo did in 2003. I mean, entering into all sorts of alliances, trying to coerce some who don't want to get in. So it's the same playbook that's going on. And President Tinubu, I mean, you can give it to him, he's been a very good politician, working with all these governors who are tasty for what is at the center. And what's at the center is just simply the federal protection, federal might. They're thinking that if there's going to be a rigging at the center, from the center, it won't get to you. You will shore up your support. But how many of these governors are actually popular in their states? Because, I mean, some of them are also banking on Tinubu's credibility to be able to win their elections. It's because they are unsure of themselves. Having governed for 4 years or 8 years, that's why they are running to the governing party. If not, I don't see any governor who's very popular who would want to say until they get to the center before they are able to. Are you not getting all your allocations that you're supposed to get? I mean, we run a federal system. Statutorily, the presidency cannot deny any governor of his or her monthly allocations. So what is making you to run to the center? To get what? In terms of projects, the president must, by law, spread projects across the whole country. And if you're a political party that's in the opposition, you can continue to build. If President Tinubu, then as governor in 2003, despite Obasanjo's political machinery, refused to go with Obasanjo in 2003, why are some of these governors, you know, especially like the South states, falling head over heels to get to the center? Well, it means our democracy, the state of health of our democracy right now needs to be probed, because it was never the intention of the founding fathers of our democratic practice for everybody to go the same way. If not, why did we all fight against the military? Because the military was a one-party state. We could have as well continued.
You know, you have consistently said that it is not in the best interest of the president to have one-party state.
It won't help.
How does
it's an implosion that is coming up ahead in
how
the
does that work?
APC
Because the president will be happy to have more states under him. So how does that not work in his favor? Okay,
right now everybody is rushing to the APC, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it could work for President Tinubu because he needs to come back. But what happens in 2031? All these same people who are rushing to the APC are the ones who are going to betray President Tinubu in 2031, when he would then want to impose his own candidate. And that's when they will play full-fledged politics with him. The policy that the APC is using is wooing defectors who will now eventually bring the people to it. The opposition is supposed to be wooing the people and not the defectors, people who have power at hand right now. Are we seeing that happening? We're not seeing a united opposition. So if the APC does win, I mean, nobody should blame them. But is it too late? No. It can happen.
We have an epidemic on our hands. We have something close to what you would describe as cancer on our hands in Nigeria. Our politicians have become an epidemic. Seriously speaking, what we have are selfish politicians who will look out for themselves to the detriment of the nation. The corruption in Nigeria is now so loud that even the deaf can hear. It is so bright that even the blind can see it. Ask anybody around the world about Nigerian politicians, whether our president, our governors, our lawmakers, the first thing they'll say about them is corruption. You see these political defections that's happening, cross-carpeting from one political party to APC. It's also to save their necks, because they want to save themselves from the rigging that will happen from the center. So every time they tell their people we're aligning with the center, they're aligning with the center so that they don't get rigged out in 2027. That's why they all jump into the APC. Because if you think about it, APC has nothing to offer them. APC has nothing to offer Nigerians. Tinubu has shown it. Buhari showed us that they had nothing to offer us. In every other sane country, these people were already voted out. But guess what? They found a way to continue to rig themselves in. Do not take for granted the power of your words. Do not take for granted the power of your words to be able to convince another person, because they can see it. See, one of the most visible things that we can do right now, we can see the state of the nation. So you don't need a lot of convincing to tell somebody that you need to stand up and speak up and vote for the right people and defend your vote in 2027. Because they are banking on the fact that APC will rig the election, the center will rig the election, because they don't want to be rigged out. They need to be aligned with the center so that the center can rig them back in. Not because of the people who vote them in, but because they need to be brought in by the rigging machine that we currently call the APC. So what you see in play out right now is exactly what the likes of Obasanjo, the likes of Jonathan did when they had the time to fix the country, but they did not. They did not fix the country. So what you're seeing play out right now is a corrupt system that brought this current government in 2023 that needs to be in place for 2027. That's why all these politicians are defecting, because they've seen what played out in Edo State, for example, in the off-cycle election that happened in 2024 in Edo State. They saw how manipulated the results were. They saw the local government election in Lagos State. They saw the local government election in Rivers State. And they could see the plan, see all this building of judges' quarters. All of it is to silence the judges. So that no matter what they do, they have a place to stay. So they have to rule in favor of the corrupt politicians. So when you hear them jumping and they're saying they're aligning with the center, they're not doing that because of you. They're doing that to protect themselves, to save their necks from being voted out in 2027. They're trying to bank on the credibility of Tinubu if he has any. They're trying to bank on the fact that they don't want to be rigged out in 2027. By the way, did you not remember that the governor of Akwa Ibom State said that? Because they don't want to be rigged out. Natasha Akpoti also said it. Now, most of the lawmakers that we have don't have any business being our lawmakers. So when you see them jumping from one political party to another, you just know that they don't have any business being lawmakers. You have no business. You cannot govern after you're failed and say Nigerians should bring you back so that you can continue to take us backward. It will take us years to recover from the damage of Buhari, but now multiple years to recover from the damage of Bola Tinubu. I'm speaking vehemently here and seriously and passionately to all of you. Don't take for granted the opportunity we have as young people, especially. See, I want to talk to young people. I want to talk to young people because we are the ones who would channel this country in the right direction. The people who destroyed this country are the ones in power. They can never fix it, because if they fix it, it will stop working for them the way it's been working corruptly for them. So until you and I sit up and say enough is enough and start to share content like this, share this message to others, recommend this channel to others, like it, subscribe to it if you've not done so. We need to push it out to others so that they know these politicians who have failed them. That's why they are being killed in their villages. That's why they're being killed in their homes, attacked by bandits and terrorists, attacked and then for ransom. Some of them killed, their organs taken out of their bodies. Because our politicians would rather defect, so come back in 2027 rather than fix the problem. That's why the president cannot be able to fix security issue. That's why he's not been able to fix the crisis of our food, healthcare. We have an epidemic on our hands. We have an epidemic with our healthcare system. We have an epidemic with our housing system. We have an epidemic with our educational system, our security system. Everything about Nigeria has failed. So Nigeria technically should be called a failed country because we have the wrong politicians in place. We have the wrong people as our president. We have the wrong people as our senators and our governors. So until we come to that full realization that these people are not working for us, until we come to that full realization that these people are not there to serve us but their own self-interest, until we say it's enough, they will continue. I'm telling you, and I'm telling you why you need to vote APC out. Because you need to vote these political defectors and put APC out, because to stop this corruption that they're perpetuating in their track. Look at the amount they're borrowing. How much of those monies do you think you can trace back to things they've done to make Nigerians' lives better in the future? None. We're going to be paying debt that we did not borrow by ourselves, but has now been channeled into the hands of politicians. We need to vote them out to protect our democracy. Because at some point, you will become a victim. I'm telling you, you will become a victim. Look at the Cybersecurity Act. You speak up, they tell you they'll use the Cybersecurity Act to tell you, no, you cannot speak up. Why? Because that's not democracy anymore. It's become an autocratic system, as though we're in the military regime. So you must vote them out again to end this political impunity where corrupt politicians are sheltered. That's what this defecting is going to be. Shelter corruption to bring corrupt politicians back in 2027. And until we stop this, we'll not be able to bring real leaders to come to power. People like maybe Yelesho or Peter Obi. People who can work. People who can accountable to the people, not the people to them. So until we stop this political impunity and say no to these opportunists that we have, and say yes to leaders who are credible, that we can trace and say how they make their money. I want to ask you, if somebody asks you, how did Bola Tinubu make his money, would you be able to tell? The answer is no. He himself has not been able to prove it. But again, we need to secure Nigeria's future. These defectors, they only strengthen the politicians. When we reject them and reject APC, we protect our jobs, we protect our safety, we protect our children, so that we can get rid of these terrorists, this Boko Haram, these cattle herders who are killing Nigerians in their own homes, burning them alive. So until we speak up and put a stop to it, these people will continue to, alienate Nigerians. Nigerians are, at this moment, endangered species, because in the hands of our politicians, we have no value. Nigerians have become endangered species. Nigerians have no value in the eyes of our politicians. So that's why we must stop them. I'm telling you, these politicians must be stopped. Don't let them carry out this rigging they want to do in 2027. Again, like I said, don't take for granted the value of the power of your words. Your words have power. When you start to share this content to others and speak up and make sure that in 2027 we galvanize. We know what we did with the obedient movement, galvanized in 2027. These politicians who think that the system belongs, there are only a handful of them. There are about 1,000, maybe 10,000 of them. By the time we come out as a people, we will listen. Look at the world is changing. Nepal did theirs. Madagascar did theirs. The world is changing. If we don't do that quickly, we will let these old politicians ruin us to the ground. We need to chase them, all of them out. Chase them out of the country, chase them out of the places of power, so that we can get a country that works for all of us, not for them and their children. So again, like, share, subscribe, recommend this channel to others. Click on the notification icon. Please share this content to others. We need to get a lot of people, more Nigerians participate. Because the more we are and the more unified we are, the better and stronger we are to defeat this corruption and this political party, this rigging machine called APC. I'll catch you in the next video. God bless you. Bye-bye for now.